Well, there's some truth to that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They're scared of this book, and they're scared of Jesus. They don't know what to do with it because he's God.
Amen.
Muhammad's not, and they're fearful. And that's what we're facing in the world today. We're facing a reaction. The devil knows his time is short. He's operating through the spirit of Antichrist. The largest Antichrist force on the face of the earth today, 1.5 billion strong, is called Islam. The sooner we as Americans and Westerners figure it out, the better off we'll be. Brother Hamoudi, I want to take a few more quick news items, and then we hope to have some callers. And also, maybe you have some commentary on some of these things that have been taking place around the world today. Muslims never fail us. I've always and often challenged our Muslim viewers, some who are upset with this program. I say, you know what? We're reporting the news. If you want this program to end, tell all of your Muslim friends to stop murdering, to stop killing, to stop blowing things up, to stop committing acts of terrorism. There won't be any news Muslims are making like this, and we won't have a program. But they've never taken me up on it. Not one time. Let's look at the next article. Remember our friend, of course I say that facetiously, Najibul Azazi. What a funny name. An Afghanistan man who said he loved America and would never commit terrorism, but now he's in federal prison. Najibul Azazi, who tried to blow up the subway system, if you remember, in New York City, commit an act of terrorism along with other Afghan Muslims. We find that the investigation, Brother Hamoudi, has not finished, and that they've actually went after a couple more of these upright, America-loving Muslims who must be misunderstanders of Islam because they want to commit terrorism in the name of Islam. They just must not understand the truth about the religion, that it's a peaceful religion and would never cause anyone to commit jihad or acts of terror. They really must misunderstand the religion. Let's see what happens here. It says, Surah 62, verse 6, Say, O Muhammad, O ye who are Jews, if ye claim that ye are favored of Allah apart from all mankind, then long for death if you are truthful. The Americans love Pepsi Cola, we love death. That's a quote from Afghan jihadist Maluna in Yadullah. I don't love Pepsi Cola. I prefer Diet Coke myself. But anyways, New York jihad plot update. Bridge terror thugs, Allah cry by Murray Weiss and Janon Fisher of the New York Post, January 9th. This happened just a few days ago. A Queens man tied to a suspected Al-Qaeda trained terrorist may have been trying to kill himself when he crashed his car into the back of another at the Bronx Whitestone Bridge, law enforcement sources said. Adis Medjunanin, maybe its real name is Mejnoon, I don't know, Medjunanin, I can't pronounce it, 25, called 911 as he sped erratically away from federal agents through Queens streets at up to 90 miles per hour. Can you believe a Muslim breaking the speed limit? I thought they were upright citizens who loved America. Now, we love death more than you love life, he exclaimed in Arabic. So this man who's running away from federal agents at 90 miles an hour in New York City, I don't know where you go 90 in New York City, but anyways, he has enough sense or wherewithal to call, I guess on his cell phone, 911 in order to do what? In order to ask for help? No, in order to shout out jihadisms, if you will.
Bring attention.
And he says, we love death more than you love life, he exclaimed in Arabic. Mejnounin, or whatever his name is, also praised Allah moments before he rear-ended another vehicle, sources said. I suppose at 90 miles an hour, figuring he's going to kill himself. Although we have the verdict still out, you know, if you die before you're able to actually commit the jihad and hurt the other person, whether or not you get the 72 virgins. We had to ask a Muslim scholars, you call in and help us out on that. If you're trying to commit jihad and you fail, like that guy who burned up his genitalia trying to blow up a plane, would he get the 72 virgins if he had died? That's a good question for Muslims to call in and tell us. All right, you think about that. 248-416-1300. So we see that that was just one of two further Muslims in New York that have been arrested and are going to be indicted on this business of an attempt to blow up American subways in New York City. Once again, we find Muslim terrorism, hatred, sedition, a traitorous spirit rampant in the United States of America, not only in Dearborn. Remember the sweatshirt incident of a week or two ago It's been uncovered since then. It wasn't that those poor Muslim students didn't know what they were doing. Not at all. They were specifically, basically saying that it's wonderful that we, as Muslims, were able to take down the Twin Towers, but we, being young Muslim students, no one's going to take us down like we, Muslims, took down the trade towers. And it was actually brought out from a couple students. Nevertheless, those students, no problem. They weren't punished or anything. They just took their sweatshirts that day and said, you know, it's okay. They were just naive, misunderstood things.
Swept under the carpet.
Just like in the Ford plant, September 11th, when the planes crashed into the Twin Towers, you know, there were several employees of Ford, Muslim employees, Muslim Arabs, giving each other high fives and shouting, hooray, hooray, and all that kind of stuff. They didn't get fired till 3 years later. They got fired 3 years later. Guess what they did? Sue Ford.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a friend of mine, I was at their house today, and she was telling me the morning of the attack, when it happened, that her next-door neighbor came over all covered and everything, and the lady who answered the door was very sad and bummed out about the attacks.
Yeah.
And her neighbor asked her, why, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You know, and she looked at her like she was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, we've just been attacked.
Right.
And her neighbor, who's a Muslim lady, she kind of like just laughed at her and ridiculed her because, you know, and she was like, yeah, you know, and it's a sad moment. It's a sad idea of the way that they feel about these things.
This is the problem in this country. The Democrats, and specifically the liberals in this country, I really believe there is a conspiracy, and the conspiracy goes like this, Brother Hamoudi. This is very easy to figure out. The Democrats know that the general middle America does not agree with their ultra-liberal views, like Barack Hussein Obama, who would say abortion on demand, who even voted that if a child who is being aborted somehow survives the abortion, is born alive, Barack Hussein Obama says kill that child. This is the most radical liberal president. He's the most radical liberal senator. Middle America does not agree with these views. So how does the Democratic Party wish to continue to keep control of the Congress and the White House? It's very simple. Immigration. As long as we can get enough Mexicans, Muslims, and people from third world countries in America, depending on us to give out a government check, get them on welfare, get them on Medicaid, put them up in government housing, soon as they can vote, who are they going to vote for? Are they going to vote for the people that tell them, okay, get a job, contribute to the fabric of America, and be a good, upright citizen, start your own business, we'll help you? No, they're not going to do that. Lazy. They're going to be wanting the people, the government, to continue to give them a check. So just like Obama. Oh, I'll just give everybody a check. You know, we had some people here, in Americans, now this was African Americans, coming around looking for money, and they interviewed her. You know, it's a famous interview. I think Rush Limbaugh had it, but a lot of other people had it. Famous interview. They gave him this line of people going for federal money. And they said, what are you here for? He said, I'm here to get bailed out. And they said, well, what do you mean bail out? You know, and she said, well, I'm here to get money. And they said, who's going to give you the money? She said, oh, Obama's going to give us the money. That's why we voted for him. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's the conspiracy. Yeah. Continue to get these people. Now, the problem is, of course, these people, and especially Muslims in particular, have absolutely no allegiance to this country whatsoever. No. You might find a very scant minority, but for the most part, Muslims have absolutely no allegiance to this country in the world whatsoever. They want this country to be overturned and to become an Islamic nation. And we've got problems. And their religion allows them to lie, allows them to deceive, allows them to murder, to use violence and every other form in order to achieve their objective. Let's take a couple more articles. We've got callers waiting. I appreciate your patience. We'll be with you in just a moment, so do hang in there. Back on that article of the two men in New York who were arrested, it says, after the president went out of his way to make sure that no one got the impression that jihad against the United States had anything to do with Islam. You remember, he always makes a point of, let's not jump to conclusions. You know, of course, it's always Islam that's terrorism in this country. It's rather surprising that two Muslims have been arrested in connection with Najibullah Zazi's plot to blow up various high-profile targets in New York City on the 8th anniversary of 9/11. Here's Robert Spencer's satire. I would have believed Christian extremists, white supremacists, Belgian neo-fascist, sure. But Muslims involved in terrorism? Ah, it's unheard of. Can you believe it? Meanwhile, the president has stated that our conflict is with Al-Qaeda. He never mentions anyone else, so it must be with Al-Qaeda only. Are these guys with Al-Qaeda? If not, why are we bothering these men of peace? FBI arrests 2 in New York, Adas Mejnounin, whatever his name is, Zareen Ahmedazi, in Zazi bomb plot terror probe. And it talks about how this one guy, Mr. Mejnounin, sorry if you can help me with the pronunciation of his name, call in. He was going home. He sees his house surrounded by federal agents. What does he do? Now, this is really stupid. You know, he sees it, and then he takes off running. Well, you know, nowadays with CARE and with all of these Islamic groups, the ACLU, he should have just come up and said, "What are you doing in my house? I'm a peaceful Muslim. Yeah. Don't you know anything about Islam?" But as soon as he sees that, knowing his guilt, immediately he runs. He runs, just like they said in that old movie. Remember Smokey and the Bandit? Yeah. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. We're going to do what they say can't be done. Yeah, well, anyways, that's kind of what he did. Although I bet he didn't have a 1977 Trans Am with a 6.6-liter V8 and 4 on the floor. Anyhow, let's go right on. Now, here's the pièce de résistance. We've got a lot more articles. I just want to give you one more, and then we'll move on. Now, this is the pièce de résistance for you French-speaking Arabs out there, Moroccans and Algerians and the rest. You remember in Dearborn, Michigan, there was a group. God helped them to come to the knowledge of the truth. They said, and I suppose maybe some of them, their intentions were not noble, I don't know, but they decided to go down to the courthouse in Detroit, Michigan, when this Abu Muttalib, this Nigerian Muslim murderous terrorist, went to be indicted or whatever, and they were going to put on this big protest. They said, apparently on Facebook, thousands will be there to show America once and for all that Islam is against terrorism. And the whole idea was not in the name of Islam. Brother David Wood talked about this the other night. And, of course, they got there, and David Wood was there. He took video. There was 12 people there, 12 Muslims. Anyways, look what happened. The Muslim anti-terror rally organizer who says we're going to show that Islam is peaceful, guess what happened to him? He got a death threat. From who? From the Zionists? No. From a Muslim, from a true Muslim. Look at this. Muslim anti-terror rally organizer gets a death threat. You're a hypocrite and don't know what Islam is. Who said that? Was it old meanie Pastor Joseph? Or was it old mean-head Brother Hamoudi? No. It was a Muslim who follows Islam literally. Here again we see the murderous thug who made this threat claim to be representing true and pure Islam. Muslim rally organizer claims death threats. The Muslim organizer of a rally last week in Detroit against terrorism said he received a death threat over the phone from a man with an Arabic accent, upset that he spoke out against other Muslims. Majid Moguni, a Dearborn attorney who led the rally, told the Free Press he received the violent threat at about 6 a.m. Saturday from a man who said he was from France. Dearborn Police Detroit, James Isaacs, confirmed Monday that Mogini filed a police report, and it says that they're investigating the accident. And the guy says, the pure, true Muslim tells this Muslim who says Islam is about peace, he says, and I quote, "I want to congratulate you for your place in hellfire, inshallah," the caller said, using an Arabic phrase that means God willing. "If you're in front of me, I will shoot you. I will put a bullet in your head." This is the consequence of a hypocrite. This is someone claiming to be a true Muslim. What do you think, callers? Muslim, Islam, around the world, Muslims going crazy, blowing things up, killing Christians as they come out of a Christmas Mass in Egypt, killing a 75-year-old Iraqi Christian in Mosul just today. They killed the man right in front of his house. He was a vendor of fruits and vegetables. They went home, assassinated the man, Christian. All around the world, Muslims going crazy, terrorism, attacking, killing, murdering. Blood, revenge, they cried out when the man tried to kill Kurt Westergaard, the one who depicted Muhammad in his cartoons as a violent person. And all the world's Muslims take up arms and commit violence because they're upset that this man depicted their prophet as violent. As a matter of fact, this man who came to kill him a week and a half ago with an axe,